I have never told my wife which of our sons I went back into the house for. The smoke detector screamed at 2 a.m., and I was on my feet before I understood why. The hallway was already gray, the air hot and moving. My wife coughed awake behind me. Get out, I told her. Get to the lawn. I've got the boys. Our son's rooms are at the end of the hall. Bennett is 12. Eli is 7. I could see the fire climbing the wall by the bathroom, eating the paint in long orange strips. I went for Eli's door first, because he's small, because he panics. I twisted the knob and it didn't move. Lock. Eli's door doesn't have a lock. There is no lock on it. I threw my shoulder into it and heard him inside, screaming, "Daddy, Daddy, it won't open. Back away from the door, buddy." I hit it again. On the third try, the frame split and I fell into the room. Eli grabbed my neck so hard he nearly took me down. Smoke was pouring in under the window. I carried him down the stairs and out the front door and put him in my wife's arms on the grass. She was shaking, her face lit up orange by our own house. "Where's Bennett?" she screamed. "Where is he? He's still inside." I turned back toward the door. That's when I saw Bennett. He was standing in the front yard, barefoot, dry, calm, not a smudge of smoke on him. He'd been outside the whole time. "Ben, thank God," my wife sobbed, reaching for him. I looked at his hands. There was a red plastic lighter in his right one. He was still holding it. "Bennett," I said, "what is that?" He put it behind his back. "I found it." "Where did you find it?" He didn't answer, and I did the math right there on the lawn with my house burning behind me. Eli's door didn't have a lock, but it hadn't opened. Something had been holding it shut from the outside. "Bennett," I said, keeping my voice flat, "how did you get out before your brother?" I smelled the smoke and I got scared and I ran. "You ran right past his room." I didn't hear him. He was screaming, "Ben." The whole street heard him. My wife looked between us, not understanding. "Stop it, stop. He's a child." He was scared. "Then why is he dry?" I said. "Why isn't he coughing? We were choking up there and he doesn't have a mark on him. He got out early. That's a good thing." I walked over to Bennett and he flinched back, and that flinch told me everything. I grabbed his wrist and turned his hand over. The lighter. And underneath it, a little rubber wedge. The doorstop from the garage, still crushed in his fist. The kind you jam under a door so it can't open. "You put this under Eli's door." I said. "No." "You lit the hallway and you jammed this under his door so he couldn't get out." "No." But he was crying now, and it was the wrong kind of crying. Not scared. Caught. Eli was still clinging to my wife. He looked up and said in this tiny voice, "Bennett said if I told, he'd do it again while I was sleeping." The fire trucks were coming up the street now, lights swinging across the yard. My wife had gone completely white. She was staring at our older son like she had never seen him before. "Told what?" she whispered. "Eli." "Told what?" "That he wanted to be the only one." Eli said. "He told me at dinner. He said it wasn't a joke." Bennett dropped the doorstop in the grass. He didn't try to run. He just stood there while the firefighters climbed down off the truck, and he looked at me with no expression at all, and he said it quietly, so only I could hear. "Then it would have just been an accident." I took the lighter out of his hand and I gave it to the first officer who reached us. I told him where I found it and what had been holding the door shut. They walked Bennett to the back of a squad car with a blanket around his shoulders, and my wife climbed into the ambulance with Eli, holding him so tight the paramedic had to ask her twice to loosen her grip. She thinks it was a choice. She thinks I stood in that burning hallway with 1 second to decide which of my sons to carry out, and she has never once asked me to describe that moment because she cannot bear to hear it. But there was never a choice to make. Only one of my sons was ever in danger that night. The other one lit the fire.